Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to London for the Rugby World Cup 2023 host union decision. The Rugby World Cup 2023 will be the 10th edition of our game's showcase event, and it will also mark the 200th anniversary of the birth of the sport when William Webb Ellis picks up that ball and ran. There have been 8 World Cups so far. Let's have a quick look back at some of the previous hosts. It all started in 1987, of course, the inaugural Rugby World Cup, hosted by New Zealand and Australia. New Zealand won their first title. 1991 in England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland and France, where the Wallabies won their first World Cup. 1995 in South Africa, who could forget that? Perhaps the most iconic Rugby World Cup of all, won by the Springboks. 1999, hosted by Wales, where Australia won their second Rugby World Cup trophy. 2003 in Australia, where we had our first and only Northern Hemisphere winner in England. And 2007 in France, where South Africa won their second title. 2011 in New Zealand, where they won their second trophy on home soil. And 2015 here in England, where the All Blacks made it 3. We will, of course, in less than 2 years now, be in Japan in 2019. And today we will find out who will be passed the hosting ball for the 2023 Rugby World Cup. And in case you needed reminding, a quick reminder of who the 3 host candidates are. They are France, Ireland and South Africa. Okay, I would now like to welcome to the stage the chairman of World Rugby and Rugby World Cup to make the announcement, Bill Beaumont.
Friends in rugby, on behalf of World Rugby, my pleasure to welcome you today to London for the announcement Rugby World Cup 2023 host nation. And in a few moments, we will discover who will host the 10th edition of our fantastic event. But before we do, I'd like to thank our 3 host candidates, France, Ireland and South Africa. We set out on this host selection process with the objective of selecting a host that would deliver an outstanding Rugby World Cup in every way. Within their bids, all 3 candidates demonstrated that they could deliver a truly exceptional tournament. For teams, for fans, for the global game, we believe that this is the most comprehensive and transparent host selection process ever undertaken by World Rugby. Just a short time ago, the World Rugby Council cast their vote. The process was presided over by independent auditors from PricewaterhouseCoopers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to announce that the host for the Rugby World Cup 2023 is France.
Thank you. If we could just welcome to the stage, please, the President of the French Rugby Federation, Bernard Laporte. Please, Bernard. Bernard, félicitations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you describe your feelings to us right now after hearing that announcement?
Oui, d'abord, je voudrais remercier la délégation irlandaise et la délégation sud-africaine. Je sais le travail qu'ils ont fourni, puisque nous avons fait le même. Beaucoup de temps consacré, beaucoup de déplacements, beaucoup d'énergie. Donc je veux simplement les saluer. Ensuite, je voudrais remercier toute l'équipe qui a travaillé autour de Claude Hattier. Claude, encore une fois, merci beaucoup. Je l'ai dit et je l'ai redit, sans toi, nous ne serions pas là. Merci aux ambassadeurs, merci à toute l'équipe qui a travaillé dur. C'était un gros challenge pour nous, que nous avons pris avec beaucoup de retard. Mais je suis fier de vous, encore une fois, et fier que la France ait été choisie. Et enfin, je voudrais remercier bien sûr World Rugby aussi, et qui a fait beaucoup, même s'il y a eu des incompréhensions, etc. Je crois que, encore une fois, merci à Bill, merci à World Rugby.
And Bernard, what type of World Cup can we expect to see in France?
On avait un dossier comme l'Irlande et comme l'Afrique du Sud qui était très solide. Et je crois que Bill l'a dit, les trois candidats étaient trois candidats très sérieux. Donc nous ferons notre possible, notre meilleur. Et je peux vous garantir que ce sera une Coupe du Monde formidable et j'en suis convaincu.
Bill, what's your reaction?
Well, I think we've been fortunate to have three great Brits, and certainly there's going to be two of the countries extremely disappointed, but obviously delighted for France that they've got, they've run a World Cup before, they've run events before, and I think it'll be really exciting, be an exciting tournament.
How would you sum up the process as a whole since it kicked off with the bids back in June?
I think it's been a long process. Hopefully that everybody felt involved in the process. It's been a transparent process, and we feel for the first time that actually within World Rugby that we put the results of our evaluation process out to the public, so everybody's been able to see what they felt and been able to comment on those as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Bill. Congratulations once again to France, the successful candidates for Rugby World Cup 2023. Just having an envelope passed here.
These are the scores of the various rounds. So
Okay.
The first round was France 18, Ireland 8, South Africa 13. And the round 2 was France 24, South Africa 15.
Okay, well, that brings to a conclusion the announcement for Rugby World Cup 2023. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And congratulations once again to France.
headsets as well, guys.
Hi.
I'll just do some housekeeping. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this Rugby World Cup 2023 Host Nation Decision Press Conference. Just to introduce your top panel, we have World Rugby Chairman Bill Beaumont, World Rugby Vice Chairman Agustin Pichot, we have World Rugby CEO Brett Gosper, and Head of Rugby World Cup and Chief Operating Officer for World Rugby Alan Gilpin. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start, please. Please raise your hand. Wait for a microphone, state your organisation and name as well when asking a question, just to help us out up here, and we'll make sure that we can answer those questions. And please, we only have 15 minutes here. We're not going to be doing one-on-ones after, so we have to go up to TV. But without further ado, I'll pass over to Chairman Bill Beaumont to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dom. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, that what has been an extremely exciting morning, that sort of three really good bids, you know, and obviously very, very difficult for the World Rugby to make their decision, but they have made their decision. We'd like to think that the process that ensued had been open and transparent, and that the results of the process were published, so it was all out in the public arena for everybody to see. And then it was obviously up to the World Council delegates to decide who they awarded the 2023 Rugby World Cup to. But, you know, we're delighted with the process that's unfolded.
Questions from the floor, please. At the back there. Thank you. With Callum.
Hi, it's Callum Murray from SportCal. I suppose obvious question, does the fact that the recommendation was rejected make something of a mockery of your process? Thanks.
Not really, because I think that if you look, there wasn't a great deal between certainly France and South Africa in the evaluation report. It was very close, and I think that sort of the council members, that they looked at that, and from our point of view, we feel that the process has been absolutely transparent. You know, that everybody's been able to see how the scoring was. They might not have liked certain aspects of it, and they might have agreed with others, but I don't think it has anything to do with the process that we've gone through, that this has been an open and transparent process, which you know, we're proud of.
Thank you. Next question, please. Just over there with Mitch.
Oh, hi, thanks, Bill. Today we've heard you say about 5 times it's been an open and transparent process, but now we've got a secret ballot. In the wake of what's happened with FIFA World Cups, IWF Athletics, Olympics, awarding of hosts, how on earth are we still having a secret ballot in this day and age? And how can that be transparent?
Well, I think what you can look at is that sort of we made a recommendation. The recommendation wasn't accepted by council. It was extremely close. The two top candidates of sort of France and South Africa with a gap. And I think we will learn as we move forward that this is the first time that we've embarked on this process. I know other sporting bodies are doing a very similar thing. So I think certainly rugby, we made the decision that it was going to be a council decision. That was something that was voted on by council 12 months ago, and that was confirmed, obviously, with the secret ballot today.
Next question, please. Yep, just at the back there. Right at the back. Can't see.
Does the terms of the evaluation and the vote today indicate that you have to have the capacity to host a major soccer tournament or an Olympics, and that small nations like Ireland, New Zealand can now never host a tournament like this Rugby World Cup again?
Do you want to?
Yeah, sure. I don't think that's the case. I think the evaluation report, as Bill said, you know, very clearly demonstrated that actually we had 3 outstanding bids, and any of those 3 candidates could have hosted an exceptional tournament. It happened to be the case that France and South Africa had the edge in terms of experience. That's not to say Ireland couldn't have hosted the tournament, or indeed couldn't in the future.
Jim Tucker from News Corp Australia. For you, Brett, is there some understanding that with so much money spent on this bid process from all nations that the 2027 World Cup would be hosted by one of the two nations that missed out?
There's no discussion at this point to date on any allocation or process that's leading up to a 27 decision. So no, at this point we've just made a decision on 2023 through the council, and that is the situation. So no further discussions at this point.
Any further questions? Yeah, Mick.
Bill, given that the evaluation report has led to your recommendation being overturned, will you repeat the whole process? Because it does seem to throw it into question.
I think, like with any process you go through, Mick, that we will look back and we will have a debrief on the process, and certainly I think that we can feel confident in the process, certainly. And but like any organisation, that the Rugby World Cup will be looking at the bid for 2023 and things that we can improve going forward, because we're always looking to improve as an organisation.
Owen, yep, just down there in the middle.
Bill, I just wonder if you could say how you personally feel about this. On social media, the decision has already been portrayed as a humiliation for World Rugby. I mean, is that fair? I mean, you were very clear that you were backing the recommendation from a fortnight ago.
Well, for humiliation for me, I don't think so. I don't think at all that. I think sort of what we've had is an outstanding process, and we've had three great bids. You know, there's always got to be one recommendation in the evaluation process, and that was the recommendation of South Africa. But just because it went to France, it doesn't mean that there's humiliation whatsoever.
Yep, Mitch again.
Sorry, Bill, I'm just going to follow up the earlier question, if I could. I'm still not entirely clear why it's a secret ballot. Why you aren't happy for people to know who people voted for? On the secret ballot issue, there are fors and against both sides of that. It's not clear cut that a secret ballot is worse or better. It's a judgment call that was made at the time with a lot of advice that we'd had from people also advising the Olympics, FIFA and other organisations. We tried to make it the most transparent process possible. I'd venture that the result wouldn't have been any different had it been secret ballot or not, but our feeling was that in a secret ballot situation, people could vote without fear or any pressure. They could vote who they believed in based on the dossiers that were presented, and I think that's what's happened.
Yep.
This is,
Nick.
Anyone can answer this, but just in the name of transparency, how much money did the process to come to the South Africa proposal cost?
To ask them. You'd have to ask South Africa. I'm sorry. In terms of their dossier.
Yeah, your evaluation, your auditing process, that kind of thing.
Our process.
How much did our process cost?
I honestly don't think we have the sort of final numbers for that. I mean, our objectives, going right back to the start of the process, were to run a process that would be open and transparent. I know we keep saying those words, but also that would provide us with an outcome of the best possible Rugby World Cup in 2023. And we went into today's discussions knowing that whoever of those three candidates prevailed, we had a host that would provide a fantastic World Cup in 2023 with full government support, with great financial outcomes for the sport, and a host candidate capable of hosting a great tournament. And that's what we've got. So the money we spent on the process is a great investment from World Rugby.
Tom Hamilton, ESPN there.
Given the board recommended to the council through the report it should be South Africa and the council voted otherwise, do bridges now need to be built between the two?
What, build bridges between the report and the disappointed countries? Look, I was involved in a bid many years ago that got 3 votes. You know, so I can understand the disappointment was when I was involved with England and got those 3 votes, and 2 of them were from England. You know, and so look, it's very, very disappointed for those countries who worked extremely hard, you know, very, very hard, and put their heart and soul and expertise into, in their opinion and our opinion, 3 outstanding bids. You know, and it could have gone to any one of the three countries, you know, and but obviously disappointment for them. But it's like a game of rugby, you know, that some games you win, others you lose, and you've got to shake hands, dust yourself down, and get on with it.
Next question. There and then Mick.
Richard Escott, L'Equipe. Bill, you said that the competition could be won by any of the three bids, but you stated just after the recommendation that you saw that South Africa was a clear leader. Do you think that was wise to make such a statement so close to the diffusion of the recommendation, looking to the score today? Thank you.
Well, World Rugby made the decision. There was a debate at the World Rugby Council in May last year in Kyoto in Japan that whether there should be a recommendation. And it was voted by the World Rugby Council that they wanted a recommendation. So we went along with that.
Final question there from Mick. Thank you.
Brett or Bill, guess. If it was a secret ballot in the room, do you know who voted for whom? And will we know who voted for whom?
We certainly don't know, and I think it's up to those voters to declare or not if they wish to. That's what secret ballot is.
We don't know at all.
We don't know.
I've just given a total number.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.